Former Grand Prix driver Didier Peroni and two other Frenchmen were killed today when their powerboat crashed off the Isle of Wight. They were taking part in a race from Poole to the Needles when the boat hit the wash from a tanker and somersaulted into the air. Eyewitnesses said one man was thrown out, but the other two were found still strapped in their seats.
Didier Peroni's boat was travelling off the Needles at more than 100 miles an hour when disaster struck. The powerboat hit the wash of an oil tanker, was thrown 20 feet into the air and overturned. The boat, Colibri, has been brought back to Lymington in Hampshire, where the damage is being inspected to see if there had been any electrical or mechanical failure just before the accident, in which all three men died instantly.
We saw one of the crewmen just underneath the boat on the side. The boat was completely upside down, quite well sunk in the water. We got that one out with the aid of Lymington Lifeboat. He was put on our boat. He was given cardiac massage and the kiss of life.
After a brilliant career as a Formula One driver, during which he won 3 Grand Prix races outright, Peroni abandoned the sport after almost losing his life in a crash during practice for the 1982 German Grand Prix. At the time, he was leading the Drivers' World Championship points table. After a long recovery, he turned to powerboat racing and built up his own stable based in Saint-Tropez, where in April the Colibri was launched. 35-year-old Peroni revelled in his new second career. He was determined to win the World Championship that had eluded him in motor racing. He was well on the way to achieving that ambition. Only last weekend he won the Arendal Powerboat Grand Prix in Norway. But it is as a master of the motor racing Grand Prix circuit that Didier Peroni will be best remembered.
An inquiry began today into the powerboat crash off the Isle of Wight, which killed the former Formula One racing driver Didier Peroni. 2 teammates also died when their boat hit the wake of an oil tanker while competing in the Needles Trophy race yesterday. The fatal accident was the worst in British offshore powerboat racing. Caroline Hall reports.
Peroni's boat, Colibri, showing little sign of external damage, stood in Lymington Yacht Haven this morning awaiting a safety inspection. The boat was checked before the race. Now it will be scrutinised for any alterations.
We're in an environment where people are racing to win. Part of powerboat racing is an objective to get to the checkered flag first. Sometimes, and it has been known in the past, we've had changes made to boats after scrutineering has been done. Not necessarily to infringe rules, but changes that people have wanted to make. But we need to satisfy ourselves that there haven't been any changes.
The French boat was travelling at about 80 miles an hour when it overturned. One man was thrown out. Peroni and his co-driver were trapped underneath. One of the questions now being asked, was Peroni driving too fast?
Other boats got through the wake of a similar capability, similar size and similar speed. And therefore, it would be wrong of me to say that he was going at any correct or incorrect speed. Only he, at that moment of time, would have known whether he was right or wrong.
This was a controversial design of boat. Do you think the design contributed at all to the accident?
No, I don't think anybody can say that at this moment in time.
Peroni was a man obsessed not only with speed, but also safety, and he was an experienced driver. Last year, before the Cowes Torquay Trophy, he spoke on South Today about the difference between Formula One and powerboat racing.
There is no really comparison in the driving. What I can say is very interesting to drive an offshore boat when the sea is bad.
The Frenchman's death has shocked the racing world. He was enjoying a successful second season in powerboating. Only a week ago he won a similar offshore race in Norway. When he crashed yesterday, he was in the lead.
Could an accident like this have been prevented?
That is a very difficult question to answer insofar as it's my belief that this accident was a unique accident. I don't think it's something you could legislate against. But obviously, from a safety point of view, we're trying our utmost at all times to protect any type of incident like this from ever happening in the future.